You know, I would say I'm many things in life, but through all my years of tomfoolery, I've never considered myself to have a green thumb. In fact, in high school, one time, I failed to water a cactus. I'm gonna let that one just sink in for a second. A cactus. I bought it from Home Depot, I brought it home, I put it on my windowsill, and it died. I, yeah. But in contrast, I've always enjoyed making plants in video games. As lame as that sounds, I'm also a single adult in his mid 20s that does literally nothing else, so, I might as well. And lately, I've been binging roguelites, so I figured, you know what? When I saw Pesticide Not Required, I figured that would scratch both those itches for me. Welcome to Stardew Valley on Adderall. A game where you grow plants, you mine rocks, you farm fish, you eat apples, and you play a bullet hell like roguelite that's absolutely cracked out of its mind. One thing that makes this game extraordinarily busting is the fact that there's a lot of moving parts in this game, but it's really easy to understand. I pretty much got all of it down halfway through like the first game. But at the same time, the skill trees, the buffs, the debuffs, every upgrade you can get in the game is very diverse and fun. And because of all the moving parts, because of all the mining and the fishing and the eating apples and the planting seeds and the buying stuff from the shop combined with your damage and all of your damage aspects, there are so many upgrades you can take that really helps tailor to your playstyle as a person. The upgrades are also really nice because there are buffs and debuffs on every single one, so you can't just get something that's godlike without it having a trade-off, right? Some things will like to do damage, but then maybe they make you farm less, or they make you fish less, or they make you mine less, and so you really have to think about what you want to prioritize to win and how you're going to make up for the lack of what you decided to trade off. All these Stardew-esque gameplay values that I've mentioned before are all automated too. It's automatic. If you get close enough to a rock, you just start mining it. If you get close to a pond, you just start fishing it. If you get close to a plant, you just start planting it, you just start watering it. And when you get close to that subscribe button, you just start clicking it. And when you attack, the attacks are automatic. It's really about the placement of where you are. This game is currently in its prologue, so it's really pretty bare bones. The devs promised to give just 1,000 million trillion things on launch, including more characters, weapons, upgrades, skill trees, all that pizzazz which you can check out once you beat the first level. But overall, as early as it is, this game is really polished for what it is. I mean, you can play it for free right now. It came out on the 5th of January. It's only been out like a week. And when you play it, like that's it. There's no bugs, there's no hiccups. And it runs fantastic despite the mass quantity of enemies that are just hurled your way. Overall, this is a fan-flippin-tastic start to a video game, an amazing creative vision. I've never seen a take on a roguelike like this before. Personally, I would say there's probably a couple changes that could be made to make the game a little more entertaining or have a little more replayability. The game calls itself a bullet hell, but really it's a creature hell. And so the goal of the game isn't dodging bullets, but rather just making sure that your damage is high enough to reach the damage threshold for the enemies so that you don't get your butt cheeks inverse clapped by like the 69,000 troops that are coming at you at the same time. I personally didn't find any difference between all of the different enemies, between the flies and the grasshoppers and the scary spiders and the bees. And really, it's a game enemy-wise, it's like quantity over quality. I think reducing the amount of enemies and then giving them unique attributes would be a really fun way to kind of diversify not just how you approach the enemies that are attacking you, but also approach the builds that you need to make sure that you stay alive. Like if bees were to rush at you, or if grasshoppers did like a leap mechanic, or maybe spiders shot some webs and slowed you down, and you weren't just thrown in with a bunch of bugs, then you'd have to navigate the map in a different way and tailor to a more specific playstyle instead of just trying to upgrade as fast as possible. So really, like, the end game is super easy, and that kind of goes to my next point, that I think that this game deserves to be a little more challenging. With all of the core game mechanics, it is quite relaxing to play. It really tickles the folds of my ADHD brain that I get to do a million things at the same time. But I do find that mining and fishing are a little lacking in terms of like mid to late game in terms of relevance or importance, and that upgrading those aren't really essential to winning the game. I tried upgrading the mining stat on like my third run, and really it didn't really do much, especially when I had to sit there and just kind of auto mine. But I personally think that if there is a place to put like ores when you mine them, or a place to sell fish or get XP for them once you fish them, would give the game a little bit more depth and more places you could go, especially if trading mined ores or fish were on like different parts of the map, and that would force you to kind of navigate through the map and kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit instead of just camping all the plants that you're cropping. But overall, this game is fantastic. It's one you can just kind of jump into, one you can play. I got a good like 3 hours out of it. It's got cute frogs, fun enemies, and I think my favorite part is the dancing ant in the shop. He is an absolute gem, and I would give all my money to him if I could. Overall, the concept and execution of this game are absolutely busting, and this is a great pre-release, and I'm so excited to see where Pesticide Not Required is going to go. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, and go ahead and check out that video game as well. The prologue, if it's still in prologue, is free right now as of January 12th. It's simple, it's intuitive, it's fun, and I'm telling you right now, it's a hoot and a half. Alright, toodles!